Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. The question is asking, can we say JazakAllahu Khayra or Barakallahu Feek and similar supplications to non-Muslims, especially if they've done something good for you? Can we say JazakAllahu Khayr to them? Or even MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, and things like that, if you are scared of giving them the ayn, etc. To answer this question, obviously the Messenger of Allah ﷺ lived with the kuffar in al-Madinah. He had mushriks there initially, he had the Yahud there, etc. And there are certain narrations which explain to us how the Salaf were in interacting with the kuffar who had done good for them. So in Al-Adab al-Mufrad of Imam Bukhari, he has a chapter, Bab Kayf Yad'u Lidhimmi. How can you make dua for the dhimmi? And even before that, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, when he sent out the rasail, meaning the letters to the umara and the leaders, As-salamu ala man ittaba al-huda. As-salam is upon those people who follow the haqq and the guidance that comes to them. What we learn, and what I'm going to share with you in a second now, is what we learn is that there are supplications that you can say for the kuffar who have done good for you, but the intention is for them to be guided. So technically a person can say, Allah reward you well, God reward you well, God bless you, and things like that. Obviously we're translating God so that they can understand it. But the purpose is that you are making dua with the intention for them to be guided. So in this letter, the Messenger of Allah says to the rulers of the kuffar lands, calling them to Islam, to Herakl, Rome, etc., Kisra, Persia, etc. As-salamu ala man ittaba al-huda. May peace be upon those people who follow the huda, meaning if you are included in that, then may peace be upon you. There's a narration from Uqba ibn Amir al-Juhani, one of the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had a servant who was Christian, and when he used to do good for him, he used to say, Inna rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ala al-mu'mineen. Rahmah and barakah of Allah is upon the believers, meaning if you're going to be included in that, if you were to choose to be accepted, then you'll be included in that. But then he used to make dua for him, Talallahu hayatik wa akthar malik wa waladik bi khayr, etc. He used to say to him, may Allah make you have a long life upon doing good, etc. With the intention of what? With the intention of guidance for him. There's a narration that goes back to Abdullah ibn Abbas. He said, if I was alive at the time of Fir'aun, and Fir'aun said to me, Barakallahu feek, I would say to him, wa feek. And the way that the ulama have, so if Fir'aun was to say to him, Allah bless you, Ibn Abbas said, I would return the same. And we have this from the Messenger of Allah as well, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that if the non-Muslim says to you, Assalamu alaikum, you say, wa alaikum. Meaning you return what has been said to you from them, or you can make dua for them if you are the one that is initiating it with the intention of hidayah. There's another narration that a non-Muslim sneezed at the time of the Prophet ﷺ in front of him. A Yahudi sneezed in front of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. He said, Yahdikumullah wa yuslih balakum. May Allah guide you and make your affairs easy. Meaning Allah guide you and make your affairs easy from the sneezing, etc. that you are suffering from. So there are narrations that go back to the Messenger of Allah ﷺ in how he used to interact with the kuffar and making dua for them with the intention of them being guided, and how the Salaf used to reciprocate for those people who used to do good for them. In the Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shaybah, he has a chapter, Bab fil Yahudi wan Nasrani, or the Jew and the Christian, if he does good for yad'u lahu, and how a person can make dua for him, especially if they've done something good for him. Ata, rahimahullah, one of the ulama, the Salaf, in his tafsir of وَقُولُ النَّاسِ husna, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقُولُ لِلنَّاسِ husna, say good things and speak nicely to people. He says, speak nice to him, all of them, even the mushrik. So there are narrations like this which go back to the Salaf and how they used to engage and interact with the kuffar, etc. But the ulama have said that the intention should be with the purpose of them being guided. Hence, from the contemporaries, Ibn Taymiyyah was asked, can you say JazakAllahu Khayr to a non-Muslim, due to the generality of the hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, Man sana ilayhi ma'rufan faqal li fa'ilihi JazakAllahu Khayra. If somebody does something good to you, say to the person who done that good to you, JazakAllahu Khayra. So here Ibn Taymiyyah says, somebody who does good to you, who is that? Muslim, non-Muslim? It's general, isn't it? So say to him, JazakAllahu Khayra. فَقَدْ أَبْلَغَ فِي الثَّنَاءِ. if the person has said JazakAllahu khair, then that person has reciprocated in the best possible manner for the favour that person has done for him. Therefore, it is permissible for us to make dua, because the Messenger of Allah ﷺ and the Salaf of this ummah made dua for the kuffar, especially if they've done something good. However, the intention now is different. So if you see a nice car, or they've done something good for you, or something like that, your intention is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide this person to your firdaus al-a'la, guide this person to iman, doing good deeds. And as for the believer, it's the same, but you're asking for hasanat. Now this goes back to, I don't want to make it lengthier than it already has been, but this goes back to another mas'ala in Aqidah and Usul al-Fiqh, where the ulama have said, La kufr, la dhanb ba'da kufr. There is no sin, meaning after kufr, there is nothing greater as a sin after kufr. So if the person has done kufr, then none of his good deeds are going to benefit him. وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ. Anyone who disbelieves in Allah, then all of his good deeds have been rendered invalid. Therefore, if you're going to make dua, oh Allah, reward him with good, then what reward is he going to get whilst he's upon shirk? There's also another narration, and again, I don't want to make it lengthier, but the Messenger of Allah said that if a person does good deeds, meaning a kafir does good deeds, then either he will be rewarded in the life of this dunya, or he'll be averted from some kind of difficulty, etc. But he will get his reward in the life of this dunya. As for the akhirah, because of this principle here, there will be no good deeds for such people. وَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the good deeds will be as if they were scattered in the wind because of the kufr and shirk. So if a person is going to make dua for a person upon shirk with the intention of Allah rewarding them, then there is no real benefit in that. Rather, the intention should be for them to be guided. And once they've got that guidance, that goodness will then actually benefit them in the dunya and the akhirah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes us firm upon La ilaha illallah, and He saves for us and preserves for us our deeds, and that He overlooks our bad ones. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على